Nice. How are you? Good. It was a donation to the park committee, or to the park, we have a park committee, and so we donate to there, so that's
I took my snow tires off this weekend. It's not gonna snow again until fall.
No, it's over.
It says so right here.
yeah,
I hope.
well,
Do you store your snow tires yourself, or?
Yeah. Well, I've got a complete set of wheels. It's not like I pop the door off and back out.
Yeah.
All that stuff. It's a little beyond me.
Yeah.
Right now? No.
well, I don't have to go right now, but I can go right now.
Okay. Can I lie to you? Sure.
Wake up, Dean. Eyes are looking a little droopy. Eyes are looking a little droopy.
Tired.
I don't put you in the hours.
No, that 3.5 hour drive here killed me.
Yeah, half-hour drive, where were you? Did you say hi to my clan?
Wow.
My clans are my area. So just a little more west.
My client's in Schoolcraft.
Oh, I am. I know where that is, exactly. Portage was my home base. Where I went to school.
Northern or central? Oh, did they have the?
It's split, my senior year it's split. So, yeah, half of my senior class was at Northern. We had our baccalaureate together. I have an answer for you on the men's base when we get together for reunions. I did this at a great, so that's nice. I didn't realize. So we were in the big, 600 some bins at like 3 times a year. Some of my didn't. Right. Our bottom line, mistakes happen. I did this.
You know, my brother, this was the beginning of the
We all got to suggest things to school and ask that. And they chose brown and white and huskies. I thought that was
Aruba, Alex,
okay. Orange, brown and white, they added orange? Why?
well, some places do the dogs for different.
Weird, all that money.
She pulled numbers from 2010 to now, and it's like 7 million, 8 million, and it's like.
That's how much money we had since then, 2010, I'm just curious.
Just makes the reports not match up.
The bottom line matches,
The bottom line doesn't.
right, which,
Debits and credit stuff.
no,
What's important?
I think I'll rerun it,
Over here.
I'll rerun it, that way everybody will know.
Oh, it's more fun to
I like me.
dream the other.
That's not correct.
What's not correct?
They don't match. Her report and her report have to match.
Well, the bottom line is due.
Theoretically.
Not theoretically. Shoot that man with a Band-Aid and get a rubber band gun. 200 remember those, or do you play with those?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good heavens, but it happened.
And you're talking about spit one.
Spit one?
I said, don't sit behind me and just spit one. I said, I have to have a whole bunch ready. Go.
When I was in school, I got four out, were basically t-shirts, but they had little rubber darts.
Really? Huh. Did you have, was that during the cinnamon oil, craze? Were you in school then? Cinnamon oil, cinnamon toothpicks?
Oh, no.
That was a big craze, and the oboe player for our orchestra would be sitting back there going,
Even when you go out in the best.
so I said, what do you got there, a cinnamon stick?
You're
He
supposed
laughed
to,
and
but
said
you don't.
yes. I'm like, no wonder you're back
Kind
there.
of supposed to, not all. So sometimes.
Oboe reed,
Allow you to read
an old chipped oboe reed, so.
It's so fun.
I don't know how that thing got so far back there, that's bizarre.
It does, that's why BSNA, that's one of the little quirky things.
What's quirky?
Some of the, you don't hit, sometimes you don't think about looking at certain things, you think it's gonna be like this, but it somehow changes sometimes, it's not the way you left.
My phone drives me
Oh,
crazy.
that's serious.
So we mostly started with those.
Different experience for, and then for a long time, no energy.
But they imported everything from, that we had from content.
Yeah.
Boys are from
And you can't.
Oh,
I know.
So if you mark it as now, it stays on the system.
It's a timeout.
What did you go with?
Do we not have a fearless leader tonight?
I hope so.
Find out soon.
Yeah.
No.
You got, picked up by the clips.
Spaceship.
Was anybody else disappointed that 88% wasn't darker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, oh, okay.
My sister sent a picture from Buffalo, and they were in the top of total, and for 3 minutes, it was like nighttime.
Oh, wow.
We went
That
to
would
that,
be cool.
we caught the last eclipse in 2017 down in Tennessee, and it's an experience. I mean, you get to look around and all the way around, it's like twilight. It's just on the horizon, it's dark everywhere.
We have friends that flew from Florida to Houston. Got off the plane, got back on the plane.
Oh, really?
Probably flying home right now.
How's Ellen? You feeling any better?
Yes. There you go. Mary's shooting over the hands, you better watch out. Mary's shooting over the hands, you better watch out.
Front row also has to sing the alto section.
Oh,
You have to sing the alto section if you're sitting in the front row. Of course, I'm fan
Oh, yeah.
so by the way, Iron
You'll
Man,
be fine.
Tin Man, your idea of the Tin Man, those characters just came into public domain in May. So we have absolute use of Tin Man for the 5K, and we're gonna do metal hearts as the medals. So really good suggestion. So we're gonna do, yeah, it'll be good. No, not at all. I put the camera up so it gets everything and everybody.
Kind of does exercises or exerts himself, and then at night. Yeah, during the day, he's, walks around.
I have not.
This is the reports that were wrong in the packet.
Oh. I guess you better.
You want one?
Yes.
You should.
From here in the events, I think
Would throw away the old one.
Channel Lion.
I can get it for you right after this meeting. It should be Inland Events.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and then go to Inland Events, you should be able to find it right now. Thank you. I'm sure my taxes go to good use, so I don't need it.
You need one? The one that was up there.
You grab it.
That wasn't different from what you just gave us.
That is, it's 2 pages instead of 3. Yeah, throw the old one away. Because hers was dated 2010. So it added things on there that worked. It added all the money from 2010 to 2024.
Thanks.
Call the board meeting for Hingham Township, April 8th, 2024, to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I've got one.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay. Lord, please guide us in our deliberations this evening and strengthen our bonds of community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Job pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Davis is excused. Worth here. Miller
Here.
Brower.
Here.
Zelinski. Here. I move to appoint trustee Miller as moderator for this meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Mayor, take over.
Just in keeping with Robert's Rules of Order, I'd like to ask that for a public comment that everyone please respect our statement regarding public comments as printed on the agenda. that any person wishing to address the board may do so one time per public comment period. And with that, I'll open public comment at 6:02. Public comment.
Alan McCaw, 20359 Douglas Road, Interlochen. Anyways, any way we can find out the status of the ARPA funds for the building of the, renovating of the park or in the township? The status, I mean, has anything formally been set up? I think, the supervisor did something about it.
Dave's working on it,
Is he,
but he's not here today to do that.
to address that issue? Yeah, okay. But does anybody know if we're going to meet the deadline of 2024?
I'm sure we will.
The deadline for 2024, that we have till December
Okay,
to allocate those.
okay. So I could contact him to get some update on that. Okay. Do you know if he's gonna be available this week? He will.
As far as I know, he'll be here tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Or you have a cell phone.
Oh, thank you.
Any more public comment? Public comment, 23rd time. Okay, we'll close public comment at 6:03. Approval of meeting agenda. Anybody got any changes? Yeah, Jim?
Well, I guess I have a question, since we're approving the agenda, not the consent agenda.
Correct.
One of the things on draft minutes that's in the consent agenda is the clerk was going to bring up duties the clerk has brought up, non-statutory duties that the clerk is doing, we'll discuss in April. But I don't see it as under old business.
No.
Dave didn't put it on the agenda.
I understand it's not on the agenda,
Yeah.
but on the draft minutes, it was going to be on the agenda.
Mhm.
So we're not discussing it? Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
But, we do need to make a correction. No, sorry, my apologies.
Okay,
I was thinking, okay.
I'll take a motion then for the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Approval of consent agenda.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's where I was making.
you have some changes?
Yeah, prepaid bills. The numbers 15250 through, should be 15282. So a bit of dyslexia there. And then on payroll, it should be 11030 through 11050. Those totals are correct. And then we can add the unpaid bills of 15283 through 15294, totaling 720362. Is what I have. Do we need to pull the minutes or anything?
just on, the special meeting and public hearing,
Just pull it then.
yeah, pull that one.
Okay, I'll move that we approve the consent agenda minus special meeting minutes.
I have some changes or questions.
Okay,
Have to do with the draft minutes,
which ones?
both.
Okay, so we'll pull them, Jim.
Hmm?
We'll just pull them so we can change what needs to be changed on the meeting.
We'll pull and discuss.
Oh, okay.
So I move to approve the consent agenda minus regular meeting minutes, special meeting minutes, Drafting the prepaid bills and payroll and adding unpaid bills of 15,283 to 15,294, totaling 72,362.
Is there a second? I'll second. Roll call?
Brower,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis excused.
The motion passed for everything except for the pulled minutes of March 11th and March 26th. Okay, Jim, what did you have for
Well,
the 11th?
a couple of things, in a couple conversations with the MTA, you can leave them the way they're written, but, special meetings, public hearings are part of either a regular or a special meeting. And while it says close the board meeting, you don't really close a meeting to have a special hearing. Special hearing is an agenda item on a meeting. So in both places, it says that we close the meeting and open it back up again, which technically isn't correct. I did have a question on the March 11th minutes, under new business, item number 3, was printed in red. I'm just curious as to why that was printed in red. There's a reason for that.
I think it's because
It's because it was
we didn't
added.
settle anything on it.
No, it was added.
Oh, it was added,
It was added.
Okay.
okay.
And there's no inclusion in the minutes at 6:15 that the public hearing was actually not held. And there should be minutes of the public hearing, if we did hold one, where there should be the reason that we missed the deadline for noticing, and that's why the public hearing wasn't held. It's just left, I mean, the way the minutes read right now, we had a public hearing and we have no record of what went on. And I think the record should reflect that the public hearing wasn't held because we missed the proper public notice by a day.
Okay,
In the special meeting of March 26th, I think it would be proper, both for the record, just so we have a record for the future, but also for the public that, the proposal that I put forward, should be included in the record and actually should be posted online with all the other materials that were handed out for that meeting.
What motion are you speaking of, Jim?
The budget proposal.
that we discussed during the public hearing.
And you have in the minutes that move to amend previous motion to adopt changes that we discussed and balanced and agreed to during the public hearing by Brower, seconded by Zelinski. Should be included. I mean, the proposed budget was included, the amendment to the budget should be included.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Please, do you have anything?
You want it included in the motion? Nope, okay, that's
No.
okay, Jim. You want it included in the,
Should be included in the minutes. I mean, I'm sorry, it should be included as part of the documentation, both online and, I mean, there's no reference. We had a budget, 17 pages of it. It was part of the record, and I'm just saying, you know, it's not clear that a proposed change, you know, it's gonna be lost to history what proposed changes were if we don't include them.
Okay. I have under number 5, the third paragraph there, move to approve postcards for cleanup day not to exceed, which he is missing. And I just say too on the next paragraph, put a period at the end of manual. So that you got two different sentences there. So is there a motion to approve the minutes with the additions, corrections?
I'll move that we accept the minutes with the corrections as recorded.
Second?
I'll second. Okay.
We've already done things with money, so I guess just a vote of yea or nay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Reports. County Commissioner, Kevin.
Thank you. Really nothing, new to report since our, we only had the one meeting at the beginning of the month last month, because our second meeting fell on the, time of the Michigan Association of Counties, so we didn't have a second meeting. So the only, our email was hacked last week, so. So if you're sending me any emails, I haven't gotten them, because I can't sign back into mine yet. Hopefully that'll be rectified tomorrow. And yeah, so tomorrow's our next meeting, so I'll have, should have a lot after tomorrow's meeting, because it's gonna be a long one to make up for the one we missed, so.
Anybody have any questions for our County Commissioner? Yes.
Junior, no, or is he gonna submit sometimes he submits his own report?
Yeah, he was, I know he was in Florida last month, but he was excused from our meeting, so.
Oh, okay.
So he won't have anything unless he watched it on YouTube from Florida, which.
Well, he should have.
Any other questions? Thank you, Evan.
Mhm.
Fire Chief, Dayton.
Last month we ran 19 calls, 14 EMS, 5 designated fire. On your pack that or on the report that I gave you, it breaks them down on the left side. There were 5 medical, 1 motor vehicle accident with injuries, 2 motor vehicle accidents with no injuries, 1 power line down, 9 dispatched and canceled en route, and 1 CL detector activation due to malfunction. Next, I received a letter from Cindy Beecraft, resigning from the department. So I need a motion to accept her resignation from the fire department.
I move that we approve the resignation of Cindy Beecraft from the fire department.
Second. Moved and seconded to accept the resignation of Cindy Beecraft from the fire department. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Anything else, Satan?
No, that's it.
I have a question. Curiosity question. I think I understand the dispatching. I mean, walk us through how a dispatch call gets canceled.
One of those calls, we were requested by law enforcement. They were on scene of a call, of a sensitive type call, and 2 minutes after they asked for us, they canceled us. So, we go to Grand Traverse for a fire, right? We get auto dispatched to a fire in certain areas of Grand Traverse for mutual aid. They get there and they put the fire out themselves, or it's not as big as it was described. They cancel us en route. We had a wildfire, there was a wildfire in Thompsonville the other day. Thompsonville had people at their station, they took off right away, and by the time we got toned and I could get here and start leaving, they canceled us because it wasn't as big as the person said it was, and they could put it out themselves. So same way with medical calls, call just down the road from EMS station. The 6 to 8 minute delay it takes us to get en route because we're not staffed. They're already on scene, have the patient loaded up by the time that I get here and or somebody gets here and starts going en route, so we get canceled.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other
So,
questions?
and when I say there was 14 EMS, a lot of those calls were EMS calls,
Mhm.
but then it's broken down into this report. This report doesn't tell you exactly what's EMS and what's fire.
What station number are we?
9.
Because I keep seeing, there seemed to be a lot of wildfires this last week too.
Wildfire is extremely dangerous right now,
Oh, yeah.
and people are still burning stuff and doing, so. They see the national park doing a prescribed burn, and so they think that they can burn too, but they can't.
Thank you.
Any other?
Anybody make that a little bigger so we can read that?
No, because it gets into multiple pages, that's
Okay,
where
just curious.
there's been multiple suggestions to the company to redo the reports, and they're trying to overhaul the whole system, but they have certain ones fixed that look better, but they're not doing them because they're waiting to get them all done, which I can run hundreds and hundreds of reports. So they're trying to fix them all before and developers and companies and
Not everybody
We're
has
on their
30-year-old lives.
so you can make it bigger, it just takes 3, 4, 5 pages.
Can that be included with the packet put online so that the public can view it as well?
I-
Or do it to
And
us?
I can try to have that to them in time to do that, yes.
Thank you.
Can we get a copy from you guys?
Oh, we can make copies at the end if you want.
Yeah, that's an extra. Go ahead. Any other questions for the fire chief? Thank you, Dayton. Park and Rec, who's here for Park and Rec? Yes,
Sorry, I'm late.
that's fine.
I was actually here at 5, and then I went back home because I was wrong.
The clips will throw you off like that.
It did, I got to see a piece of it, my granddaughter's school. So we're gearing up for spring work, spring and summer projects. We're gearing up to do 2 things. One, complete the projects that we started last year that aren't quite completed yet, and then talk about what we want to do this coming season. But one thing we did finish, just got finished last night, was our trail map.
Oh, cool.
And I bought one of those clever little devices, that measures, that you do with a little wheelie thing, and gave it to this 19-year-old who figured out how to use it. Anyway, this is the, it's gonna, be expanded as we do new things, but those are the trails, the existing trails right now. The one that's not completed is the perimeter trail, and people are walking it, but it needs to be fixed up a little bit more. We're not quite done with it, and there's still little things that you can trip over that we're trying to get rid of. We got some really good help from Rebecca.
Wilkinson?
Wilkinson, yes. She volunteered and got over there, really did a number on that trail. It was exciting. She's currently out of town on vacation, but she's working with us now on those trails. So we're having a meeting, our first spring meeting on April 14th at my house. If you're interested, I'll give you directions to the house. It's not far from the park. Hopefully, this summer we'll be able to have our meetings at the park, one of the other parks. Mostly, I work on the Lamb Road Park. I don't do much with the other park, except, we try to support whatever's going on there, if there is anything going on there. But primarily, what I've been working on is the Lamb Road, and it looks like we're gonna have about 8 or 10 people come to that meeting who are on the Parks Committee, so we'll be able to get started on this year's projects. How many of you have actually seen the park? Been over to the Land Road Park? Besides Rose?
To the entrance.
The entrance, I see. Well, you feel free to go beyond the entrance if you like.
It was a little tricky.
It's not now. Now it's clear enough that you can drive in there. Some idiot did wheelies in the parking lot, it stirred things up a little bit, but mostly it's okay.
Township meeting,
The meeting is at 2 o'clock. It's a Sunday afternoon, the 14th. It's at 2 o'clock, 15398 Homestead Road.
Is the, trail map, is that gonna be posted by the parking lot for people?
It's already there.
It's already
It's
there.
in the 2 boxes, one at each entrance. They're already put up.
If you could email a copy of that to me,
I don't have it. Keith Pratcher has it. He's the one who created it. So,
if you could,
I mean, we could make copies here if you want.
well, and electronic copy so we can get it to the new website.
Okay, you'll have to talk to Keith. He's our technical person. I'm not.
After the meeting, give me his contact information, or just have him email me.
Okay.
Keith Pratcher.
The map is a work in progress. It's not completed yet. We have a couple more little trails to work on.
Okay.
He's a helper, he's a
And
volunteer.
the other thing is that we want to have a kind of grand opening event, either May or June. So we'll be planning that at this meeting a little bit. Some of it, when we have it, depends on when we're finished with a couple necessary things. Like we want that perimeter trail to be open and safe to walk on. We'd like to have picnic tables and some benches in place at that time, and the pavilion that's on its way up and running. So depends on how long it takes to make those things actually happen.
Good.
Is that
Any questions for Heidi?
Delivered the other day, right? The day's house.
It's at Dave's house.
Yeah, we have to put it together though. We have to work in a work crew organized. That's one of the things we'll do at the meeting is get our little work crews going.
Thank you. Fire Association.
We did not have a meeting.
Yeah.
In March, we're going to in April,
Is it gonna be at 17th, next Wednesday?
and we're gonna do it on Monday, just until May, then we can go back to Wednesdays on the school.
April 15th,
What time are you meeting and where? Because
We're gonna do it here.
in the fire department.
Oh, the
at
fire
6
department.
o'clock. Okay, April 15th.
Thank you.
And at that time, we're gonna discuss about, how we're gonna do the bottles.
Are you gonna do what?
The bottles.
Thank you. Inland Planning Commission, we did not meet next month. We are meeting next Monday in this room at 6 o'clock. So that's all for that. Event committee.
We had we had a really good turnout for the Easter egg hunt. The Easter bunny showed up. We had at least 75, about 50 something people, families. Really good response from that. We are having a spaghetti all-you-can-eat dinner at the Eagles Lodge this Saturday, starting at 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. $10 all you can eat, $5 with kids. There's a flyer on the table. Grab one when you're going out. We picked a date for a 5K, which we have a course for. We just need to go do a course ride around to verify the actual course. At our last meeting, we used an app. So the date for the 5K is the 14th of September. Let's see, what else? At our last meeting, we used this new app in conjunction with the Zoom meeting that we have. So we use Zoom for a meeting for people that can't go there, and then we use this, it's an AI system called Read, and it basically took notes for everybody involved. It picked up everything that everybody said, and that's available. I sent it out to all the committee members, I believe. So, and you should have the ability to just open it up and look at exactly what everybody has said. So everything is now in writing as well every time we have a meeting. So, and then I just uploaded the very last meeting that you guys had to YouTube probably a couple days ago. So that should be on YouTube right now.
The March meeting?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I wasn't here. Was that the March meeting that you recorded?
It was the last
I think it
meeting,
was
the
the-
one meeting we couldn't get it to work.
Okay.
So there was one meeting that it's not on there.
It should have the date
Okay.
with it. So I always put the date of what it is, but it's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and then you just type in inland events, it should pop up with all the meetings. So if anybody needs a copy of the transcripts of what's said at the meetings, the AI, I can forward that to anybody. We'll post the event meetings to the YouTube channel as well eventually. I think I've started to do that. I'm just having a formatting issue.
So
So-
as long as AI is typing out minutes, are you still using your secretary?
Well, we have a secretary position, but anybody that's there, because the secretary is not necessarily there all the time. Basically, anybody can take notes, and people take bullet points, but this AI, as long as the AI is going, the AI gives you bullet points as well. So it gives you notes, it gives you the full transcripts. I might even suggest that at some point you guys try and adopt that here once you guys start using Zoom as well. Because then, I mean, it'll all be there in your bullet points. It's really neat if you look at it. Because the computer picks out the topics, like it has chapters and topics: Easter egg hunt, success, 5K race planning, and planning for spaghetti fundraiser dinner. The AI picked up all on that. So,
Brian, where is your fundraiser money going to be distributed to?
it's going to, if we have volunteers from any of the local children, we're going to donate a small amount to them, but it's all basically going to the township so that we can then go ahead and do events later on, like the 5K. So that's what it's getting distributed to. So, because the 5K is going to be a little more expensive than the Easter egg hunt. Not too bad. The most expensive thing is emergency services and road closures, like the signage for road closures. Otherwise, as long as the approval for the road closures happens, that should be at no cost to the township, because the township approves that, right? And the road commission and everybody else that's involved, correct? I mean, so it'd be the road commission and it's just really the time and services for emergency services to have fire department or EMTs on standby. So,
I would think you'd have to check that with the police
Yeah, the sheriff's department to
in
close the
order to
road.
close any road.
What roads were you talking about?
well, it just depends. Like I said, there's a course and a course map that we have that we need to go through and verify, but it basically will start at Inland Township Park and move out of there. Also, we were wondering if we could get a variant to have alcohol served at at the Inland Township Park at some point. And you're saying no, but why are you saying no? Because if we can get the insurance on our own, separate, but name the township, if it's an insurance problem, then that's not an issue.
It's in our rules that there's no alcohol at any of our parks.
But I can I request a variant on that?
Yes, you can.
So
Of course you
I
can.
think so.
the
Well, we'd have to come back to the board.
Well, at the last board meeting, while it's in our policy, we waived a fee for using this facility for someone that was doing a fundraiser. So
That's a little different, but we'll check into it.
the point is, we can do variances and people can request.
I think there's a form that needs to be filled out.
Sure.
Double check with because I think it was brought up before for one of the buildings for that, and I think that the insurance guy said there's something that had to be done, but we don't know.
Right, and that would probably have to do with dram shop insurance, which as the event committee on its own would probably, we can source our own for the actual event itself and then name the township and the park in that so that you guys are covered under everything under the
Right.
event. So then the township would be not held liable, the park wouldn't be held liable.
We have time to
Exactly.
work on that.
And then the insurance is, because we're doing it on our own for just one event instead of for the entire township, becomes very, very cost effective. And then we have the sponsors that actually help with the cost of that, which would hopefully be Lake Ann Brewery. So,
That's something that you can hash out with Dave if
Sure.
you can work on that.
yeah,
Dayton, do you know who he would have to contact regarding closing roads?
That's why I asked what roads,
But do you know who you'd have to talk to?
that's why I asked what roads, it depends
Depends
on
on which
what
road,
road.
if it's a state road or a county road.
Gotcha, gotcha, okay.
well, no,
And
but,
technically it all goes to the state.
right, but there,
State police controls that.
and there are on the current course map some private roads. So we just need to go through and actually walk or, take a bicycle down the current course and say, oh, hey, this is somebody's driveway. We either need to get permission or we need to change the course. So,
Okay. And like we say, you got a little time to work with that.
yeah, but starting on it now is good. So
Mhm.
that's all we have from and one more thing, sorry. One of your trustees came up with a name for the 5K race, which is, we're actually gonna do it, the Ironman is on the 15th, we're on the 14th, so we're gonna name it the Tin Man, which also has a lot to do with, if nobody knows, the Wizard of Oz
Yep.
has happened up here, and all those characters just came into public domain in May, so we have total use of Tin Man, and we were thinking of giving out metal golden hearts as the trophies at the finish line. So,
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Website committee,
The website committee has been in a short hiatus because our salesman and trainer had a baby, and that took him out of pocket for a while. There was an offer of going with a different trainer, but we decided to stick with him. We are going back to work this Wednesday and starting actual training, loading the system. We've transferred a bunch of information from the existing site. We're now working on the enhancements and loading new information. So that picks up again this Wednesday, 6 o'clock for those of you on the committee, another Zoom call. And I've sent out a request for photos and department descriptions or committee descriptions, and I've gotten some responses. Now that we're back in the swing of thing, I will become a little bit more aggressive looking for that information so that we can flesh out our new website and hopefully get it online in a month or so.
okay. Any questions for the website committee chair? Land committee,
Dave, unless you've got something, Jim. Dave's not here.
No, we haven't met, but I'll get with Dave now that we have nice weather, because I know the last time when we did meet, we all wanted to go out and walk the property, so now it looks like we can do that, so I'll get with Dave coming up and see if we can get a schedule for the community to go out there.
thank you. Zoning and blight administrator, we have a written report for March and February. I don't know if anyone has any questions about that, but Jim is not here tonight, so. Salary committee,
We are in the process of following up with 24 different townships, asking a series of questions about their salaries, how they handle statutory, non-statutory pay, zoning administrators. Just simply following up with about a third of the way through, hoping that we'll get done by the next board meeting, so we can come up with some recommendations.
so hopefully by May. Thank you. Questions for Jim? Board member reports. I just have a reminder that MTA starts Monday the 22nd and goes through Wednesday the 24th at the Grand Traverse Resort. I think everybody that was on the committees and the board were given the opportunity to register, so just a reminder to make sure it's on your calendar so you don't forget it. Any other board member reports? Okay. Old business, there's nothing, we'll skip to new business. We've got the AT&T Metro extension. So this is something that comes to us, I believe, every year, right?
Every so many
year?
years.
Every 5 years.
Every 5 years for renewal.
Get it from different companies. Whoever's got a thing in the right way. So that's just permission to sign.
Pardon?
It's just, we need
I
permission to
don't think
sign.
we should sign quite yet. Based on the fact that this went out, I actually contacted Angela Wesson to find out exactly what it is that they wanted us to sign. I didn't make copies for everybody because my printer decided to act up. But here's my communication with them, with her, and here's what we actually signed 20 years ago on July 12th, which is our due date for renewal for the right-of-way, the actual contract.
I'll make copies.
And it actually, I won't read all the correspondence back and forth because basically I was just asking, you know, has Inland ever received compensation from the AT&T right-of-way permit? The answer is yes. And what exactly is involved? And she was very kind enough, actually responded fairly quickly with as much information as she could. Last year, we received $7,375.54 from the LCSA. There's a note in here what the heck that stands for, but it's a group that umbrellas all of the different utilities that they pay to, and then apparently they pay the townships.
Could you say that amount again? It was
$7,075.54. And that was last year, which I'm presuming was 2023. And I couldn't quite figure out where that fit in looking back at the budget, which department. I mean, I'm assuming that as clerk, that check or payment came to you. Didn't know quite where it fit.
You have to look it back up.
But we'll have to look that up. And then in the actual contract, which I have not read thoroughly, but there is a clause in there, and I'm not, they talk about insurance, and from what I read, it's them insuring us, but I'm not quite sure, you know, I want to be clear on that. But there is a section on fees that the Metro Act shall control the establishment of right-of-way fees. The parties reserve the respective, and it's parties plural, so it presumably includes us. Their parties reserve their respective rights regarding the nature and amount of any fees which may be charged by a municipality in connection with public right-of-way. So I think it behooves us to say, wait a second. You know, we think the fee has been a little low, it should be raised. And while this is not the same as the airport authority, has had dealings with multiple different, telecommunications companies, but I had experience when I was, chair of the Airport Authority's, Finance Committee. The AT&T has their, cell phone transmitters on the Beacon in Frankfurt, and that came up for renewal, and rather than just signing papers and running with it, I don't remember the exact amounts, but as I recall, we more than doubled their payment, structure, and they finally agreed to it. We're happy to, so, you know, and I think if we don't at least have the conversation, we're leaving considerable money on the table.
In your first perusal through there, did you find anything radically different in the contract between years? I know you said you didn't have a chance to really rate through it.
We only received, well, I was out this morning. She sent the contract this morning.
Oh.
I was not back in my office until early afternoon, so I breezed through it. You know, it's probably 90% typical boilerplate, but you really have to read through these things to catch the fine print. But definitely, we do have some wiggle room to discuss fees.
Okay, I have a question for you, Rose. It says here that they want signed copies within 30 days. Would anything really change on this if we held this over for?
No, because she sent this early. You don't have to have this to them until July.
July 12th is the.
Yeah, July 12th.
In the correspondence, she specifically calls out that we have, I believe it's July 12th to finalize it, and
It's on the letter. It's on the back.
they're more concerned about getting it done on time than we are.
So we have,
So we could delay this until our next month's meeting?
we could delay this until our July meeting.
Okay,
So, yes.
so just table it for now to,
I would hope that the
Yeah.
supervisor looks into it, and it's a contract that is now 20 years old. Probably marginally worth having our attorney look it over, because
sure.
I know much of, well, a number of points in contract law of this type have changed in the last 10 years, let alone 20. So there are probably bits in this that AT&T hasn't even looked at, and just hoping that we sign on the dotted line and move forward.
So do we need a motion to bring this up for the next meeting?
Is that when you want to bring it up? Do we want to bring it up in May again, and we just bring it up every month?
Until we get it
Or how do we?
figured out?
I would table it as, bring it up as old business
Yeah,
next meeting, and, you know,
That's your motion,
well,
Jim?
sure.
Okay, second. Let's see, does it concern money? It does. We
Let
gotta
me
do it.
finish writing this first,
Okay.
because that was the,
Let's see if you're using AI, it would be written already.
move the table and bring back as old business in May. We're not, yeah, it's not money, so.
Okay, so the motion is to table this until our next meeting
Bring back as old business.
as old business.
And then hopefully in the meantime, Dave will have time to look this over and possibly have the attorney look it over.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. The motion carries. Any other business to come before the board? Hearing none. Public comment open at 6:46. Jim?
Yep, Jim Clark, 2640 Culver Road. Couple things. There were some kids here that wanted to use the township hall for fundraiser. And there was some comment about, maybe donating some items for that. Is there any direction? I've got a few things that they work, which is,
Dave has his name, was it Connor?
well, I kind of thought.
No, I had asked them that
I
question
thought
and
Kevin
they
volunteered
didn't give
his
us.
garage, so.
It's, I'm filling in with my stuff. I've got a number, I'm gonna get you
Okay,
checked.
okay, great.
Okay.
Couple of concerns. The budget public hearing, which I unfortunately had to miss, what apparently was posted in the Record Eagle. I don't think that's an appropriate place for getting to our citizens. I know there's some concern, and I was not gonna say anything because Dave wasn't here. Concerns that he brought up about the Patriot, and, I don't think it's appropriate for us to boycott as a township of a paper that gets to more of our citizens than the Record Eagle. So I'd like the board to seriously consider when they approve.
That's not why we did it, Jim. This time, it wasn't.
Well, okay, but it's kind of,
Oh, yeah, I understand.
it looks like it is. So I'm hoping that doesn't.
But some of us only get the Record Eagle and not the Patriot.
Okay, well,
Some people do it, not the-
yeah, some people
Some
get
people.
other concern, there was a discussion about putting a restroom facility in the park over off of Lake Ann Road. And there was a point brought forward of whether we put a drain field or a pump tank. I strongly recommend that you do not put a pump tank in, because that's an ongoing cost for the township. That, one, you gotta get it done, two, somebody's got to watch over it, and, you know, it's creating a long-term cost for the township that I don't think is worthwhile. I mean, it may be a short-term thing, but long-term, I don't think it's a good idea.
We did make a motion to have a perk test done, and I don't think that's been done yet, to see if we could avoid that.
Thanks.
Yes,
Alan, 20359 Douglas Road. What is the story? Why didn't the budget notice appear in the Record Patriot?
I don't.
Why, does anybody know except Dave Davis?
I don't remember what we said exactly on that.
The last
Regarding
one?
timing, yeah.
It was timing.
Was it? Okay. Oh, one other question. What is AT&T paying us for?
They run a line through our property.
Oh,
There are a whole series of maps that I haven't been able to figure out that, you know, if you can make copies and make them available for
no,
other people.
Yeah, I just
Maybe
want-
you could figure it out. No, they're running across our property, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Ryan?
Hi, yeah, Ryan. So as far as posting, you wouldn't post notices in both newspapers?
I would think.
Yeah, and then all platforms like Facebook and all social media too? I mean,
I don't know that we have an official Facebook page, but it was posted on our website, our
Okay.
existing website. But you know, for the minimal cost, I would think that
Yeah.
hitting both would be the preferable route to go.
right. And then one more question is, do you actually have a percentage of the increase that you wanna show AT&T? And that you can go over to another township, or do you have another township that you know what the right of way where they're getting paid now, or?
Not a clue.
Okay,
This is all basically new to me.
as of today?
Since getting the packet, this was even an issue, which we got the packet last Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday. And the contract, I've only seen literally a handful of hours ago. So
Okay.
my guess is there are other townships that are involved in this.
Yeah.
We do have the MTA meeting coming up,
Great.
in which, amongst other things, I'll be asking about this. I'll also be asking about waivers for townships for, this is a one-day, one-shot deal. Can we have a waiver for alcohol? Pros and cons. And
Sure.
just like everything else, there will probably be attorneys that say, sure, it's fine, and attorneys that'll say, oh, you don't want to do that. No, because that's what they're paid to do, take both sides.
And then I have one more question, and that's, do we have an update on the fiber optic that's being run?
I don't think so.
No, because they were supposed to run one here, right?
It's outside, they ran it from their box outside, and then it was a different guy to get it, the box on the side of the building, and then
Okay.
ran in here.
Okay. And then do we know if they're actually going to run it to the parks, like was suggested, or to Bendentown?
He did say it was part of the deal.
What's that?
He did state that was gonna be part of the deal.
Correct. So I was just wondering if
There's no
if
word
there was a
yet.
timeline on that. If
I don't know about
I
that.
don't know
I
either.
just know, cause I had to be here when they
sure.
When they
did this
connect.
layer.
Yeah.
Cause then we're gonna have to get our IT person and everything, because everything's gonna completely change. And we're gonna have to change everything, cause
Sure. You're
our
going to need.
static IP is gonna change
Yep.
all that stuff, so.
You are correct.
It's gonna be a fiasco, cause then we won't be able to update the sign until we have the new static IP address and all that stuff, so.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if there was a timeline involved in that or not. So.
I think in his thing to the county, his last thing to the county was that he was trying, cause I think this month they wanted to have this portion done and us hooked up in April,
Okay.
that I think he said, but I'm not for sure, don't quote me on that. I'm not
No,
for
no
sure.
quoting.
I think, he said there was something said about this month of April.
That's great. Yeah, I just was also wondering if he'd done anything, run anything to the parks yet, or to maybe Bender Town Hall, or.
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. That's all for me.
Any other public comment?
A question, it's in the check register that we just paid for Cindy's EMS license. I'm assuming that's, it's for like another year or something. Seeing how she resigned, is that refundable at all? Not that it's a huge amount, but, or transferable to another qualified
All
EMS
that goes
person?
directly to her.
And when was her, well, effective today is her resignation, or what was her resignation date?
Today. Yeah. Effective today is when we voted for it. Any other public comment?
Ron Thomas at 19480 Honor Highway. And I don't agree with her having alcohol at the park. You got kids coming there all the time. And, I've seen that happen before, where they start serving parks for special events, and somebody else will want to do it. And it eventually turns into a brawl at times. And, I just don't think we need it there.
It's,
It's a public park, I don't think we need alcohol there.
it's a thing that a lot of times they do after 5Ks, they give everybody one beer when they finish the race.
If he
So,
does it,
yeah.
then somebody else will want to do it.
I get it, yeah. I understand.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, take a motion to adjourn.
Close public comment.
Oh, close public comment at 6:55. Thank you, Rose.
So we make this meeting a template for all other meetings?
Wouldn't that be
For
nice?
another hour?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Ayes have it. Thank you for coming, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.
Maybe you could get the end at the, Indian Brewery.
Yeah, well, that's why, we're waiting to see.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Be more than fun. Okay.
You can't adjourn.
Legal.
Should we do it?
Brownies for everybody.